This is a show where the spirit has control. Straight talk, no chaser. So listen up close, get the medicine for your soul. Straight talk, no chaser. Telling you the truth before we hit the truth. Straight talk, no chaser. Come get on the blood to find out for you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Straight Talk No Chaser. I'm the host, Pastor Marcus Bakar. I want to thank you again for coming back to listen tonight, as we have been doing all November, or will be doing all of November. This is our health month, and today we have someone with us who many of you know. You've seen her on Facebook. Well, as for me, I've seen her on Facebook, and she's doing some amazing things. And I'll let her drop her age on you. Want to welcome to the show, Muscle Mom.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Oh, thank you.
Honored.
The honor's all ours. When because I've been, I guess, on Facebook for a while, and I've been able to see some of the things that you do. And I was like, I gotta see if I can get on for this month, because this month we're dealing with health. It's going to be the time of the season where we probably eat the most.
Right.
And we really should be cutting back and watching what we eat. Still having fun eating the good things, but doing it all in moderation. But we seem not to understand that at times.
Exactly.
Because Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving. Hey, it's food, man. So
True, but it should be more focused on family than the food part. That's the time that, we all get together. But if we come together, like you said, in more of a healthy state of mind, making sure we have the healthy dishes on the table, then it can still be a beautiful day.
Now, how long have you been on this journey? I call it a journey in people's lives. How long have you been on this journey?
It has definitely been a journey. I would say going on I would say 12 years.
12.
I have not always been physically active. However, I have been very concerned about what I eat, what I bring into my house, as far as what I serve to my children. So I've always been kind of conscious about, the different things that I do eat. There's certain things that I would not touch. And there's certain things that, and it's just it's a process. It's been definitely a journey, even with my diet as well as my physical aspect of my body.
Now, with your diet, let's focus there for a minute, because you said you've always was conscious, but you didn't. Was there something that happened where you really focused in and became even more conscious and really strict, a little bit more strict on your diet?
Well, I was a member of the Nation of Islam for years, an active member for probably about 20 years. So when I say I was conscious about my eating, I was taught what to eat and what not to eat. And there were certain things that, was prohibited in the faith to eat, which was beef and pork. So in that journey, I've always been conscious about that. So I haven't had beef or pork my son will be 31 next year or so, in 31 years. Wow. And so in doing that I became more conscious about eliminating processed foods, only fixing fresh vegetables. My freezer was always empty because I don't buy frozen vegetables. Everything was fresh. I baked my things, my certain items for my family. Everything was naturally made. So I was taught years ago that your health is in your kitchen. How you eat to live and not to eat. So that always stuck with me. Wow. So I've always eaten enough to survive and maintain the body. Food was never a joy because I was trained that food was to keep me on thriving. I was like our bodies are like cars. In order to properly function a car, you have to put gas in it. So I view the same way when it comes to food. I only put food in my body enough to just keep it going, keep it functioning. So that part of eating consciously was always there. However, I didn't start working out till 12 years ago. So if you were to see pictures of me prior to the 12 years, I didn't look like I look. I mean, although I probably was healthy, but I didn't look as the way that people see me today, because what I did in the course of my journey, I incorporate both. I incorporate the eating healthy part, which I've learned for years, and I incorporated that with living a healthy, active lifestyle, meaning physically fit, doing things to keep the body moving. So that part connected only about 12 years ago. Now, that's when I started seeing the change in my transformation, my body. Over those 12 years, when I started doing some massive changing and transformation.
What now? You're saying you change your diet. Can you share with us what? Because I think, well, tell us what how do you eat now?
Like I said, this whole process has been a journey. Like I mentioned before, 30 years I didn't eat beef or pork. I mean, nothing. I went through a phase where I just did chicken or just fish. But for the past 2 years, almost 2.5 years, I became a strict vegan. Okay. So in my journey, I have, to me, as we're aging, we're supposed to change and become better and to be more enlightened and learn what's help us stay on this earth. That's part of the journey. So in the course of that, I've just transformed and have different phases. So now I'm strictly a vegan, but that's been a part of my journey. It was something that I decided to do, not only for that, because I do have health issues, health situation. I have degenerative joint disease in my hip, which is a form of arthritis. And that came about during my workout days, my running days, when I overly ran. So that was one reason why I became a vegan, because I wanted to I wanted my outside, my physical body to be strong. I wanted to help regenerate my inside, my tissues, to help slow that aging process down in my hips, so I wouldn't have to have a hip replacement. So it's always, everything in life is a journey, and you have to, make changes. You have to adapt and change as you get older. Everything, I can't eat the same way I did prior to 30 years, because you just can't. You have to change. You have to be willing to make big changes in your life.
I always tell people that's a self-check. You have to do a self-check on where you are. And right. I'm getting ready to turn 50 in a couple months. And about 3-4 months ago, I did a self-eval of where I was.
Right.
And you're right. It's not something that happens overnight, especially if you've been doing something for years. Like I grew up, my father and I grew up, because my father's Muslim, I grew up, we were doing Ramadan. I grew up, we fasted every Friday. We did certain things for him. My dad ate a certain way, so I had to eat a certain way because I wasn't buying groceries. So I had to eat. And so that's how I grew up. But then as I got older, I started hanging out with friends and doing my own thing. And my mind said, And so now it's now time to reevaluate things. That's another reason why Health Month came about. Because if you listen, there's going to be a couple different people that are going to come on this month, in the month of November. One's going to talk about water fasting and that type of thing. So we're doing some things, and I'm incorporating some of it because I do some of it already. But I wanted people to hear on the massive scale how people can change their lives and how it's not always easy.
Oh no, especially when you reach a certain age, is going to be very challenging, and not only challenging, but you have to decide, or how much are you willing to sacrifice? That's key. I teach a fitness class, and I ask the women, how much are you willing to sacrifice your time? Your time to yourself. Commit to yourself. Now we commit to everything. When it comes to, we've been taught to go to get your high school diploma, to go to college, get that 4-year college degree. And if you want to pursue further, you've been told to go get that doctorate, go get that master's, go get that law degree. But one thing we weren't taught as a child, young adult, is your health. You're going to get old. we know we're gonna get old, but we never talk about, okay, can we slow the aging process down? What do we need to do while we're younger to make it easier when we get older? But what happens is we go through life young, we fine and all, we mastering everything, we getting the money, we getting the jobs, but then them years just keep going, and then we realize at 40, okay, the body start changing. We start having children, women start having children, then after that third or fourth child, we start blaming it on the child. That's why my body can't get back to its natural form, because I had, but your child's 16 years old, your baby's 16 years old, but you still using that as an excuse to continue your life the way you used to do it 20 years ago, instead of making changes when when it's most important as you're older. You're supposed to be older and wiser.
It's never too late.
It's never too late, to make drastic changes for yourself. And because you don't want to look in the mirror and then start and not love what's looking back at you. You don't want to, go past the mirror so quickly because you disappointed at how you let yourself go when, and so what happens now is that we have to change that dynamic. We have to change that hereditary, the way, like you said, but you were fortunate. You were taught how to eat. You choose to kind of swear away, but now you're trying to get back. But as mothers and parents, we should make that a very important part of our family dynamics. Instead of just pushing education, along with education, we should be pushing healthy, active lifestyles, because now what most children do,
sit in the house.
Phones, computers, they don't leave the house, and my son's 17, about to be 18, but I make sure that he's active. I make sure that there's no unnecessary processed junk in the refrigerator, because he's going to be a teenager. I can't expect him to adapt my lifestyle, but what I can do, I can be an example for him, because he at one point he ain't gonna want mama to look younger than him.
Now I got a question, because we haven't said, but for the viewers that are going to see you on YouTube, if you could just share with us the number of years you've been upon this earth.
I have been blessed. When I tell you blessed to be on this beautiful, gracious earth for 53 years. And I actually just turned 53 last Tuesday, October 20th. Yes. And I mean, I'm truly living and being at my best self right now. If I were to look back at my teenage years and my 20s, my younger years, I can't really say that I was at my best then.
Oh, wow.
And I really feel like my best years are now right in front of me, because I understand this process and this thing called life, and living it abundantly, being with gratitude and gratefulness, and living in peace. That's so important to me, more than anything, and I know that had I not had fitness to help me build that self-confidence up, Muscle Mom, you wouldn't be talking to me. The Muscle Mom brand would not have even been established, but I'm truly grateful to really, truly to be living life abundantly now.
And you mentioned this a couple of times. I call it self-love. How do you deal with that with your clients? Because a lot of people.
Oh my gosh, my workout sessions is a therapeutic session. It's a therapeutic session, because I'm encouraging women. You have to love yourself from within. And not only the outside. You can look the best, the finest, but you could be corrupted and have the funkiness attitude, and not really truly love yourself, because you're trying to escape or fix what's really is broken. So you have to work internally first. But on my side, I work outwardly first. So the body was my first stage of really self-evaluation or self-love, working on my body. And then at that point, something still wasn't right, you know, so I had to do a mental check to work on my mental self because, you know, of like things that I have taken place in my younger years that, you know, catch up with you in your adult years, and you can't run from it. You have to deal with it. And I think that's the next phase of this healthy lifestyle is working on your mental state of mind. And I can truly say that I have done eternally assessments, the physical assessments, and yeah, it's all has to be connected together.
Yeah.
And so when we're doing our workout sessions, you know, I'm telling the ladies, okay, come on, shoot, this is hard for me, you know, because you know, it's challenging, but you got to make the time to work out. You know, you have to. So I'm encouraging women to they first of all, they have to love themselves. They have to want to make changes, because most women, you know, as we get older, we don't, you know, some of us don't look the same that we did 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So as much as you want, and that weight, it ain't gonna come off. As much as how long it took us to get that weight on, it's gonna be even more harder to get it off, you know, as we age. So they have to be committed. I even send messages, okay, hey, I hadn't seen you in a while, you know, I know your schedule's hectic, you know, but you have to commit at least 15, 20 minutes for yourself, you know. You have to. It's just a must.
You loving on you.
You have to love on yourself, because who else is gonna love you?
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about it, when you truly love yourself, people could feel that and feel that energy from you. And you know, you can't fake it. You can't fake true self-love. I don't care how much you fix yourself up, how much you put your weaves on, your lashes on, your lipstick, the finest of clothes is going to be revealed if you truly having some, you know, I call it hidden insecurities.
Now, you know, you mentioned that. I find in what I do as a pastor, and in what I do as when we work with people in chiropractic, a lot of people, when they dress it up real nice and tight, behind that dress up is what we need to deal with.
Right.
Because it's behind the dress up that they're covering. That's their covering. I learned this from a psychologist when I was like 24, 25 years old. She said, when people come into our office and they're dressed pristine, especially the women with all the makeup, she tells them a couple weeks in, don't wear the makeup when you come in. I need to see them with you. And they don't really get it until they get there. And she says, now let's talk about the real issue.
Right.
And she said so many people open up because the makeup was what they hid behind, and the nice hair and the nails and all that. That's what they hid behind.
Right. Exactly. But when you can cut your hair off bald, you don't care.
Yeah. You know what? That's when you know you're free from people.
Oh my gosh. That was me becoming bald was the most spiritual thing I've done. I've always been low for the past, my son is soon to be 18. So I've been like a slow shadow hair for about 15 years. And I would say that when the COVID hit, I really believe that I was having a break. You know, I'm a teacher. So when the governor shut down school, and I'm like sitting, you know, when you used to having an active lifestyle, or I'm doing shows here, fashion shows, I'm going to red carpets and stuff. And all of a sudden now you can't go out your house. No, can't go out your house. You scared to go out your house because you don't know what's out there. And I literally thought I was having a break, and I couldn't I know I'm getting my hair cut every week. That was my treat to myself. My barber knew, you know, I text him, hey, I'm on my way. You know, that was a weekly thing. I went every week to get my hair cut, and I couldn't get my hair cut. And when I finally, you know, decided to leave out the house and get a clippers, because at that point, you know, everything was shut down. It was just still wasn't enough. And I mean, I literally I felt like I had to do something to kind of regain my strength, almost like the Goliath thing, you know, no, Samson, you know, when he cut his hair, he lost his strength. No, he lost his strength. Well, when I shaved my head, I'm telling you, I felt like a surge of energy was charged into me where I got my strength back and I could peel myself off the floor, you know, and get back moving. That's when I actually started my fitness classes during COVID because, but you know, so yeah, your strength lies within. So you just got to find that reason. And me shaving my head was the most therapeutic thing I have ever done, and I probably never grow hair again. I can't even stand when it's like, oh, it itch when it's stubble. Oh my gosh, and it itches. Oh my gosh, I be like, I can't stand it.
I need a razor.
Oh my gosh, and it's more work than the low cut, but I mean, I love it. It's less stress. It's so therapeutic.
Now, I find women that do that, they are very, they just come off very strong to me because I know being around, because I was raised by women initially, my first 4 or 5 years of my life, and to see what women do to make themselves look pretty, to make the beautify themselves, and to see women cut their hair off.
Oh, it's a process.
That right there is a total change, 180-degree change. Because I know what they do, then you guys cut their hair off, but you guys come out stronger though, to me, because you're free from anything you can do to show your freedom from people. I can get with.
It is so freeing. I mean, because it tells not only yourself, it tells the world that you don't care. I don't care what nobody think or say. I mean, when you're able to cut your hair bald, that's a huge statement.
What's your family say?
It don't matter.
I mean, did your son be like?
My son, okay, so me and my children are really close. And I think I called, because like when I cut my hair, my daughter cut my hair because it was slow, and it still was, I hated it. And then I had been contemplating, you know, I'm in a group called the Body Movement. And although I wasn't completely bald, but I still admired the women who were bald. And I don't think it, you know, and I'm not a follower. So just because I was in that group, I'm just not going to shave my head because, you know, everybody in the group shaved their head. So I was still a low cut, but I admired the women. And most of the women in the group had it because of a reason. They had alopecia. So most people, you know, they have a reason why some of them bald. I'm bald by choice, but most women who are bald is because of the disease alopecia. And so, and I mentioned to him, my son is 30, and he was like, don't you cut your hair? I'm like, boy, I'm grown. And I really don't care what you say. And I did it. And they just have to live with it, you know. It's in anybody. I mean, this is I'm at a point now. If it's good for my soul, you know, I'm gonna do it for what's good and right for myself.
And some people are listening like, why are they talking about this? When you feel good about you, that's health too. That's health. That's wealth.
Oh, I'm telling you, you'd be surprised that all this is connected together. You know, it's all connected together. Because like I said, if you can work out as much as you want, but if you still not truly feeling good about yourself internally and you hiding that, you know, you still not wealthy, you know. So it's all connected together, you know.
And you got people that are dealing, like you mentioned earlier, people dealing with things from their past. And there's going to be one coming out just to give people a little insight about mental health. That's why you were talking about something happened at 8, and now there's people in their 50s and 60s now still dealing, and they're having flashbacks on what happened at 8. And then you wonder why everybody's reacting and responding the way they are. It's because there's some things that had been dealt with. Because as you know, in our community, we don't certain issues we just don't deal with. We just don't handle well sometimes. And when you tell people, we're told, shh, no, that didn't happen. You go stay down. Well, back in the day, you get shipped to someone else's house. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Even for myself, you know, although for years I have been into health and fitness, you know, working out, you know, on this journey of self-healing, like you said, because of some things that I dealt with my past, that happened in my past, that, you know, at one point you have to deal with them. And I can recall, I'm like, I think my children are the main reason that I actually went to a therapist.
Yeah.
I actually personally, I talked to my,
I've been one too. So yes.
I called, my children, and I told them, because they know I had some issues, and I have been dealing with issues to become a better mother for them, so they don't have to deal with the issues. But one thing about it, when you acknowledge your issues, at least you're aware of them, and you can't pass it on to the next generation. So I'm aware of my issues, but I'm like, okay, I got to get help for my issues. Yes, I'm working out. I'm fit, I'm fine, I'm all of this, but still something's not right. And, and in order for me to be a better mother to my children and healed, I need a healed, working, functioning mother. I had to go deal with some issues, and I had a therapist. And my children, when I told them about it, they were so proud of me, because they know the things that I've dealt with and have been trying to work with on myself. Sometimes you can't work, you need extra help in those areas, and it helps change that generation, that generational curse, so it won't spew over into the next generation, acknowledging the issues that I deal with and being a better. So it's made me become a better mother to my children, and now I feel like I'm whole, and I can give my children more of me, and more of a sane mother, that's know that she's continually a work in progress, and she's trying to not only better working out her physical, she's working on her mental self as well.
Man, it's like you were in the podcast with us that I recorded on mental health. We dealt with that because we don't realize that your situation now affects the generation coming after, because we think we have it blocked out of our mind.
Oh my goodness!
But your actions, the lack of love, ability to love right.
Exactly, because because the thing about it, I made a commitment to myself, because I know I watched my parents deal with stuff, and I understand what happened with why things happened to me, because how they were treated. So I'm like, what? Enough is enough. It stops here. This generation is going to be the last one that has pain and pain after pain after pain. It's stopping. So if I'm the sponge to block it from my children, so be it. So I absorbed everything to try to keep it from spewing over to my children, so they can be healthy and strong mentally, because more important, mentally, and I wanted to give them that unconditional love, the love that, that we most, in my generation, we yearn for them, that we didn't get. But the reason being, because our parents didn't get it, and their parents didn't get it. So it just goes back and back, generations past. But I was like, what? Enough is enough. I got to do different. We got to break this cycle, and it's going to start with me. So feel like I'm whole, and I'm able to give my children genuine love. Even though I didn't get it, and I had to teach myself how to love, and they even taught me how to love and be a better person. I think, and I know they say we're off topic, but the thing about it, you don't understand. Fitness is what helped me start this journey of self-love and self-development and transformation. The physical started first, but then everything else started peeling over. Okay, now I need to work on my finances. All that stuff is connected together. Okay, now I got the finances in order. Now I need to work on my mental state, my emotional state, my spiritual state. So all of that for me, it started by fitness. It started with self-awareness of my body, and then it just transformed into other phases, and I just saw other things that needed to be worked on. And I'm like, shoot, if I can run 26.2 miles, now I can work on get my mental self in order.
26.
Oh yeah, I'm a marathoner too.
Okay. Now 12 years ago you changed, and now we got Muscle Mom that's taking off. How do you feel with that? Because you got a big smile. Every time I see you got a big smile in every picture you got. Your smile's from ear to ear. You're loving life.
Oh my God! You know what? You just don't understand. When you have found peace, it's priceless. And I'm a single woman. And a lot of women, be like, oh, why you single? It's a choice, because peace is priceless. And I got this little crazy saying that I tell people, you know, I say, if my three little nappy head children, I got a 30-year-old, 21-year-old, and a soon to be 31, soon to be 22-year-old, and a soon to be 18, because they're back to back, November, December, January. I said, I have this little saying right now. I said, if my children don't stress me out, don't give me no heartache and pain, I refuse. Do you hear me? Refuse to allow anybody, whether it's my mama, my daddy, my aunts, my sisters, my nephews, nobody get a pass to cause me to not have peace, because it's so easy.
There's a translation in the Bible that talks about peace. People and it says priceless.
It's priceless.
I think it was in the Amplified, one of the texts. I can't remember which one right now, but it says peace in parentheses priceless. Because man, people talking about money and all this other stuff. If you got peace, you're wealthy. Because so when you see my pictures, when you see, that's what you see. You see peace spewed all over. You know, I mean, I that's what I have right now, and it's taking me into my 50s to really understand what peace be still mean, you know, and COVID-19 has taught me what that truly mean, and to be peace, to live in peace, to be still and be surrounded by peace, is priceless. And so that's what you see in those pictures. Those pictures those are genuinely authentic pictures, because I want to allow anybody, when I tell you, no one get a pass. No one get a pass. That's where I'm at right now in my life. You don't get a pass. You don't get a chances. Nope. You know, because we have to be okay with being in our own space, you know. And if you're not okay with being in your own space, you're going to always, you know, soak up that negative energy. You're going to draw people to you. Because you craving for attention. You craving for people to be in your space. When you get to the point that you don't want nobody in your space, you're good. You're good. You can now grow. Now, with your Muscle Mom, you're now doing online classes. How did you get into that? Because let's go back. Let's drop this other nugget, because I asked you when I met you, when I was talking to you on the phone that day, about gyms. Tell us a little bit about your idea on gyms and what you've called on that theory, because you blew my mind when you told me that. Well, okay. Now I don't know about sending me no nasty messages and who you think y'all. This is This for you. It works. You gotta find your niche. Find your niche and work with it. I have a saying, you know, I don't cause nobody pain. I don't cause nobody heartache. But if you step on my porch, you see the M-Town come out. You know, I don't get in nobody inbox. So don't inbox me saying, how dare you? Because you're going to get checked. Hey, guys, straight talk, no chaser. Don't y'all send no messages. Send it to me, and I'll answer. Exactly. And I won't answer, by the way. But the gym situation, although I am a fitness trainer. Yeah. You know, I'm a fitness trainer. I have not stepped foot in a gym in 12 years. And I think I mentioned to you that I also was a gymnastics coach. So I had 2 memberships. And I would try to go in the gym, you know, work out like when my daughter was doing gymnastics. But I just didn't feel comfortable in the gym. You know, I just didn't feel comfortable. And I just felt like I just didn't. And so I have not been in the gym. I work out at home. I don't have a gym membership. It's not necessarily required. A fitness trainer is not even required. But the thing about it is, a fitness trainer is not required if you are self-motivated. Yeah. If you are determined to make changes, or if you are your own cheerleading squad, you know, you can get in there and do the doggone thing, then you don't need a personal trainer. But a personal trainer is for those people who need that extra push, who needs that, that person to hound them, you know. But if you when you just gonna do it, that's the type of person I was. I did it because it was a love for self, and it helped me find who I was. Because I know we didn't talk about this, but
I was married 17 years and stay-at-home mom, did not work. I homeschooled all three of my children. I know that's another story.
That's
I
great.
homeschooled all my children. My oldest, I homeschooled him from 3rd grade to 8th grade. My two younger ones from kindergarten to high school. They did not go into brick and mortar to high school. So I was home being the mother, the wife, the stay-at-home mom, the Betty Crocker, Bev Smith, all of the above. And during the midst of that, and then I talked to a lot of women who are married and got young children, and so that's another chapter. I started losing myself. I devoted all my attention to my children. I didn't care about me. My children and my husband at the time were everything to me. And then strangely, I ran into a running stroller. I'm a thrifter at a thrift store. My son, my youngest, was 4 years old. This is actually how I got into fitness. I know we didn't really talk about this, but I guess it's kind of correlate together. But anywho, to get out the house, just to because at that point I went to the grocery store, to my son, he was in high school at the time, home, 3 places. And I found this running stroller, and me and my children, my youngest, we would walk around the neighborhood, but then I didn't feel safe because of the dogs. So I live in Stone Mountain, so we started going to Stone Mountain Park. And like I said, prior to that, 12 years, I did nothing. I mean, I did no running, no walking, no anything. So I got the stroller just to get out the house, just to get some fresh air. So me and my son went up to Stone Mountain Park, and we started walking. And my son, at 4 years old, he's the one that started my fitness journey. He encouraged me to run because he saw all the other the people running, and I would try to run a little bit, and and honestly, that's how I got started. I fell in love with running. And as I started running, it was never about my body. See, one thing about fitness, when you go into it for the wrong reasons, you're not going to be successful. So if you go into it, you want a big butt, you want to be abs. A lot of people want to come to me and say, well, how do you get your abs? That's the wrong reason. You want to go into fitness to just to help transform your mind, and that's what fitness did to me. It just gave me another outlook. It helped build my self-confidence because now, because before I'm just a mom, stay-at-home mom. I had a degree, but I had never really used it because I've always been home. And every time I ran to that tree, that was accomplishment. Okay, so I ran the first mile. I'm like, okay, the next mile. And at that point, I started loving running. I just loved the fact that that was my time, because you understand, I was a stay-at-home mom all day. My children were with me all day. And that was my time to myself. And I ran, and at that point, I was able to leave my son home, and I really started running. It took me a year to be able to run completely around the mountain. And I can remember that day like it was yesterday. I felt so rewarded. I felt validated. I felt like I had just hit the lottery, because it was something that I had put my life on hold to be all and everything for my family. And that accolade, that accomplishment was huge. And that is how my journey started. So it never was about me losing weight or nothing, but the more I ran, of course, my body started transforming. It started shedding the fat off. I started, getting firmer, and going back to the marathon. The reason why I started lifting is because I wanted to be stronger for my race, for the marathon. So that's how I got into the lifting weights, to build the muscles. And all in all, the marriage ended. I got to the point that, I was like, I couldn't stay where I was, because I had, I was growing, I had started evolving, into the person. He didn't understand he didn't understand where I was in my life at that point. And we just got off track, and I walked away. That's
not an uncommon story. I want you to know that that's a story for many marriages or many divorced people that I've spoken with. Somewhat similar to mine as well. We've grown different directions. But
you have to ask yourself, and I asked myself, at that time, my children were around maybe 11 and 12. And I had to look at that point. I'm starting looking in the future. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. They're going to be gone in a couple of years. It's just going to be me and him here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I stay for them?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I stay and I lose myself even more? And then because I can't make these years up. And so I decided, you know, that my children are going to be okay. And I honestly, you know, my daughter's a senior in Tuskegee University. My oldest graduated from Tuskegee University. Yeah. And my youngest is a senior now. Mm-hmm. And actually just last month, you know, is when I actually, because I think in the back of my mind, I'm not going to say saddened, but I was hurt or felt like I was punishing myself for the fact that I did leave, you know what I mean? And now that I see my children are thriving, mm-hmm. I think I have forgiven myself for leaving. And now that I know that they're going to be okay, and I think I did the best thing for myself, because now the youngest is about to leave, you know. Yeah. And I think I have forgiven myself fully for leaving and taking them from their father, you know, and that 2-parent household, you know. Yeah. I think women, we kind of punish ourselves, mm-hmm. you know, in that sense. And I think I finally have forgiven myself and realized that, you know, I did what was best for myself, because my mm-hmm. children are going to thrive, mm-hmm. you know, because I've given them the tools. But had I stayed, I think I would have did myself an in-service.
That's a fine line that we have to, I guess, dance around or deal with. And we have to make sure that the kids are okay. But also it's about, I tell people sometimes you just got to be selfish. And and it's not selfish in a bad way, but you have to think, where would I be in 5 years or 6 years? Where do I stand after that? And you have to make that decision.
And I think that's what I did, and that's one of the reasons that I did walk away from it, and literally had to start all over from scratch. You know, because remember, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I had no career. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm still, you know, a part of this journey, retirement, trying to do fast track. I'm like, oh Lord, I got this amount of years. I got to hurry up and get this retirement, because I'm like, oh Lord, I'm gonna be in the back of a barn, you know, because he had the retirement, you know, he had everything locked down, you know. So, but you know, sometimes, you know, money is not everything.
No, doesn't bring you peace.
And like you said, that peace is showing. Yeah. As you see my smile, you know, hey, if I have to work till I'm during their 80, so be it, you know. But peace is priceless, like we said before.
Now, when you look at what you got, you're doing the exercise thing. You have a boutique where you're at right now. You're working now. You're at your place of business now. You also you already told us you was a school teacher. You got a lot of things going on.
You know what? I do. But you know what? Like I was talking to a friend. Mm-hmm. I love my job as a special ed teacher. And what's the thing about the beautiful part of it all those years I was a stay-at-home mom teaching my children. I never imagined teaching now. Of course, getting paid for it, but it's just it's like full circle. I'm doing what I was destined to do, because I sacrificed, you know, my career to be at home with my children, and I love it. So when you're doing things you love, it's not work, you know, because you know, when I'm teaching my fitness classes, of course I'm getting my workout in, but still, it's a love for self and a love to want to help other women, because some women need that encouragement. Then they need to see the product, you know what I mean? They need to see that it's possible, but you have to commit. You know, this just didn't take a year. This didn't take 2 months. This took some years and some sacrifices and not eating. And, you know, I'm a vegan now, you know, so this takes a lot of self-determination that, you know, some people don't have for themselves. Now we have self-determination for everything else when it comes to getting that degrees, that, you know, that new car. We'll do everything for material things, but we won't internally put all that energy in ourselves. So, you know, with my fitness classes, they're like, a roller coaster. You know, women coming and going. I'm like, well, y'all can't be consistent. We ain't working out for 30 minutes. You know, we don't even work out an hour. I'm like, because I realized that my class is not even an hour. I'm like, it's too long. An hour is too long. If you're a wife, you're a mother, if you got a 4-time job, you gotta, cook the food, the dinner, you gotta do homework. You're not gonna have time to go take 30 minutes to an hour to get to a gym. And that's another hour getting back to the home. Then you gotta try and do all this other stuff. You're not gonna want to work out. So I'm here. All you gotta do is turn the phone on. Turn the phone on. See me in classes on Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We work out in literally about 40 minutes sometimes. Because to me, once you get in, you get it out the way, then you have other things to do. I know I can't commit. I don't work out no hour. I don't know how people do. Even when I didn't teach class, I would not be in my gym. I have a person. I have my own person.
You're taking down some of the theories, man. You don't work out no hour.
Oh.
You don't work out, then go lift weights, do different parts of the body, and then come back the next day, do the other part of the body, and work out, do cardio, do all that in an hour and a half. You don't do that?
Honestly, I'm sorry. I have been teaching my fitness classes since June. I have been consistent. Like I said, people coming and falling off, but I have not missed 1 week since June of teaching my class. That's all I've done. Now I'll have pull-up bars that I might do for myself personally, but after I teach the class, I don't want to work out again.
No, so
and then I ride a bike. I'm a cyclist, so I do ride. So I do another form of cardio. But no, when you're eating right, it don't require no 2 hours. I'm sorry, personal trainers. I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, it don't take no 2 hours in the gym. It don't. If you get in there and do what you need to do, but you gotta incorporate the food. That's more important than the working out. Because I see people working out and I be doing a side eye. You do what? The devil's a lie. You don't work out. And a lot of people work out to eat.
See, that's the thing. I know people that there's a calorie counter, and
I don't count no calories.
Then you go work out. Then they put those workout calories back into the diet.
Yeah,
like, dude, I
don't count calories. I'm not a foodie. I have self-control. It's just the bottom line. I have and not only that, I have taught my children. See, that's the thing. Women don't realize. We are the captains of our homes. We determine the path of the ship. If we're bringing all that junk in, all that stuff for the sake of the children, you are creating a lifestyle for them that it's going to be hard to change. So my children, they didn't eat all that junk. They did at a certain age when they were younger, they didn't have to go in my refrigerator. Once I finish dinner, refrigerator's closed. Don't go in my kitchen.
Yeah, it was a wrap.
Get out my kitchen.
You tell them the kitchen's closed.
The kitchen is closed. You have to establish that foundation. You have to teach your children that food is to eat at certain times. It's not to be in there just eating because it's in there. It's for survival. It's to keep the car going. It's not for a garbage disposal. The garbage truck that you just keep going. No, it's not for that reason. And my son, we can get something sweet and it'd be sitting there all up for a whole week, and I have taught my children that, sweets and all that, although I'm just starting to bake.
That's what I was getting ready to tell you. I know. Make that announcement for us.
Yes. So I am a vegan, and back in the days, I used to make everything. I used to make whole wheat bread, cinnamon rolls, cookies, all that stuff, for my family. And my son, probably last month, he was going on a cabin trip, and he wanted my pizza recipe. And so I'm like, okay, because I hadn't baked anything in 10 years. And he was like, so when I looked at my recipe, I'm like, I did not know it was vegan. So I started making my own pizza crust. And then he was like, you don't cook like you used to. I said, no, I don't, because Sabir can cook. So now I just eat what I need to eat, salad, vegetables and stuff. And I don't have a need for all of that cooking in the kitchen all day. And And he was like, well, him and my daughter was like, yeah, she can't make that bread no more. And so they kind of challenged me. I'm like, because I probably wouldn't have made it had they said it like that. And so that's how I got started. And then on top of that, because by me being a vegan, I had to change the recipe up to take the dairy out, take the and I managed to do that with my recipe, because my recipe is like 30 years old, and don't ask what it is because it's a family secret. We're passing that on.
We all got family secrets. I got a sweet potato.
That's one.
I didn't hurt somebody.
It's 30 years old. That's my bread. I was taught by these sisters in Tupelo, Mississippi, how to make bread, and I figured out how to change out the dairy products, and it's actually good. And my son, they were very impressed, and so out the blue, another business just came about. So vegan sweet treats by Muscle Mom. So I'm now selling bread, whole wheat rolls, and cinnamon buns, and they're non-soy and non-dairy. And I'm actually having a pop-up this Saturday, and you can place an order. I'm even shipping if you want me to ship out you some bread and cinnamon buns. And it's not a whole lot of sugar in it. Everything is natural. Raw sugar, whole wheat flour, unbleached flour, no processed ingredients, just strictly old-fashioned kneading the bread. No bread machine. I'm actually in there
with your fingers
doing all of this.
With your fingers in the bowl.
I'm getting all my fingers all in the bowl.
Yeah, I remember those days. Girl, telling me, leave me alone right now, boy. I'm busy. I'm busy.
And people don't realize that. When I do bake, I have to be spiritually there. I cannot go in the kitchen and bake if I'm not mentally there. It's a spiritual thing, believe it or not. It's really spiritual. So that with your mama, she meant that. Leave her alone.
Oh yeah. And if you did something, that means you had to get a whooping. If she had to come out the kitchen, you had to take that whooping.
Right.
So I didn't mess with her often. But
so I have several businesses, and I also have and it's crazy because fitness, incorporated and helped me find myself, because for years I didn't know what I was supposed to do, and through fitness, I started, thrifting. I started and I always love fashion. So I have a boutique store called Muscle Mom's Closet, where everything in my store is thrifted pieces. Like my whole entire outfit is thrifted. I'm a high-end thrifter. And I started styling people, and my whole journey has started because of me being in fitness. I know it sounds weird, but all this transpired. Had I not started fitness, none of this probably would exist. Muscle Mom would not be here.
Yeah, we never know the end product, but as we go. But the problem is most people don't start, most people don't go. They sit back. But while you're going, though, things begin to open up. Like this podcast was just supposed to have been me talking about the Bible, and that was it. Since January, I haven't gone a week without a guest. I haven't gone a week without a different topic.
Right.
But doors are open that I never even imagined to open. And that's why I like to find businesses. I like to find people that are doing things that most people can't find, can't see. So I want you to send me the links to whatever you have. When I do drop this, I want to make sure they can click on the information. It'll be there for them to go whatever that you have. Now, your exercise classes, how can they sign up for that? How can they find
Yes, you can send me an inbox message or email me at musclemomfitness@yahoo.com. I'm on IG, Stephanie McSwine, or either Muscle Mom Lifestyle.
Okay.
And even on IG and Facebook. So you can just inbox me and you can try the class for free for the first time. And then you can, if you decide you like it, you can, join my program. And you just pick your days. I have a private group on Facebook that you're brought into to select your days weekly. And then that's how I send invoices out. And then I send the Zoom link, and you just, come in and join. Like I said, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you so much again.
No weekends.
No weekends at all? I got a question before I let you go. Sleep. How important is sleep?
you know what? As we're getting older, we best need to be sleeping. But I'm not during the day. I'm constantly moving. I have so much to do, so I don't take naps. I don't even see how people can take naps. I'm not one of those nap taker. I got too much to do.
I find that's a diet thing, though.
I don't think I can't take naps in the middle of the day, but I normally go to bed. I try to get at least about 7-8 hours, if that much. But I mean, yeah, I get the normal, I guess.
Okay. The reason why I asked every person I've actually interviewed for the health month, we've all talked about sleep at some point throughout the podcast. So I didn't want to leave you out. I wanted to make sure you answered that on it. So Muscle Mom, thank you again for spending time with us. Thank you for saying yes. We didn't connect. We kept having connection issues, but I'm glad we were able to get together.
I know, right? Yeah. Hey, because I'm telling you, if I don't get a reminder, or if I have a calendar that's got everything in, if I don't scribble in my calendar, I'm gonna miss something. And so, yeah. So I'm glad we finally got to connect.
It's beautiful talking with you guys. Don't forget, here at Straight Talk No Chaser, we are on Pop Gospel Speaks Radio on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also on YouTube, we're Instagram. All the information is in the information tab below. We look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to send me all your questions. I'll be glad to answer those that you're not sending to Muscle Mom. So you guys be good. We love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Y'all have a great one.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Muscle Mom. You have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.